What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at a 10-game win streak with Beam Melmetal in the Great League Remix Cup. Guys, these battles are in Season 10. I know I did feature this team in Season 9 as well, and at that time, I called it my strongest team for the Great League Remix Cup, and I'm going to stand by that for Season 10 as well because of, like I said, I just went on a 10-game win streak with it. It was very consistent for me all day long. There's still not a lot of great answers for Ninetales in the back. If you can get it down to a 1 shield scenario or even the 0 shield scenario, Ninetales with Weather Ball and Overheat is just going to go to town. Plus you have Melmetal with Hyper Beam on the safe swap, and nobody expects the Hyper Beam. When it lands, it does big damage. So we're going to be jumping on some of these battles. I mean, I can't not mention how incredibly spicy this first battle the other trainer's team is. I mean, goodness gracious, that is a shiny Shadow Salamence. We just faced off against a shiny Alolan Executor. I think this is probably the spiciest opponent that I have ever played against, so hats off to them. Unfortunately, I couldn't show their name at the beginning of this video because it's inappropriate, and I think I would probably get demonetized by YouTube if I put it in there. But I mean, hats off to them. If anybody does happen to know who they are, like, just tell them, like, I applaud them, because that's next level spice. And you're going to see a little bit of a mix of some players playing spice, some players playing teams that make a little bit of not so much sense, I should say, and then some players that are former legends that are playing some pretty sweaty teams. So all right, let's jump into this next battle up against the green lead. I'm going to be swapping out into my Melmetal. They bring out the Politoed. I'm going to actually go ahead and just throw the Rock Slide here. If I get a shield, then I can go for the Hyper Beam next. I do get a shield, and I kind of have to make a call, like, do I think this is an Earthquake? It might be an Earthquake. Going to go ahead and shield it. It's the Weather Ball bait, but I should outpace them. We make it to the Hyper Beam. They know they can easily survive a superpower. They're not worried about a superpower, but the Hyper Beam connects and it takes out the Politoed. Politoed goes down. They're going to be bringing out a Cofagrigus at this point and going to be going straight Rock Slide. Don't want to beam the Cofagrigus. It's double resisted, but the Rock Slides will be doing some nice chip damage, and they will have to throw a Shadow Ball to take out my Melmetal. So this is a great situation for me. We are in a even shield scenario. I have alignment how I want it, putting my Whiscash on this Cofagrigus. They do catch on Greedent, which is a nice play by them. I don't know that's enough to save them just yet. So I'm going to be coming out with my Ninetales now. Ninetales is going to be a better answer for Greedent because we are resisting the fast move of Bullet Seed, whereas my Whiscash was taking double super effective damage. I mean, Bullet Seed doesn't do that much damage. Greedent doesn't get the same type of attack bonus from it, so like it's not terribly threatening, but still not something that my Whiscash wants to see. So Ninetales spamming out the Weather Balls has Greedent down into the red, not going to be shielding up the Body Slam, not really too worried about that, and going to go immediately for this next Weather Ball. This will either take out Greedent or get the final shield. They decided to let the third Greedent go. All they have left is Cofagrigus. I decided to come back in with Whiscash, just knowing I can get to 2 Mud Bombs very quickly, and I can actually go ahead and just eat this first one. It is the Shadow Ball, but Whiscash just so bulky, easily able to take it, going to be able to throw the Mud Bomb. They know the game is over and they just let it go through, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Let's go into the next battle. Alright, so looking at the next one, got a Poliwrath lead, and this is the only place that I want to see Poliwrath. We can only hit Poliwrath with the Mud Bombs, but at least we're not going to be taking super effective damage like my Ninetales and my Melmetal would be. So I'm going to go ahead and shield up this first attack, knowing that's the most likely to be the Scout or the Dynamic Punch, not likely to be an Ice Punch bait, and it was the Scout. So that was a good shield on my part. I do connect with the first Mud Bomb, and I am going to be going for the second one right here. So we'll see if they want to try to fight for Switch right here. They do, so they throw up a shield, and I'm at the next Mud Bomb, but they are also at their next move. But Whiscash, very bulky. We're going to be able to take this Scout, no problem. They do get the attack drop, which means this Mud Bomb will not come close to KOing. I'm going to need one more Mud Bomb to connect to be able to take out this Poliwrath, and they make a really nice catch onto a Charizard, which is a very cool pick for this meta, by the way. I think Charizard's probably pretty good in this meta. Don't see a lot of them, but I think it's pretty good. And I don't have a clear answer for it. Coming in with Melmetal, hoping to connect with the Rock Slide. I do, which is amazing. Like, if they would have shielded their Charizard there, they potentially could have baited me with a Dragon Claw and then got to the Blast Burn and just swept my entire team. So I'm very happy that the Rock Slide connects. In the back, they have Magcargo running the new fast move of Incinerate. So still a threat for my team. I am going to be shielding up my Melmetal right here, so I am able to reach the next Rock Slide. So let's see how much this Rock Slide does to this Magcargo. Puts them into the yellow, well into the yellow, almost into the red. And now I can come in with my Whiscash. Now, Ninetales is pretty useless at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and try to catch the Stone Edge on my Ninetales, but they also swap to throw the Scout into my Whiscash. So very interesting plays by my opponent. It worked really well that we were synced up there for me, because now Magcargo comes in, it still has to dump its energy. Otherwise, I was going to get to that Weather Ball, and even though Weather Ball was double resisted, it would have been enough to KO. I'm coming in with Whiscash, no bubble the Mud Bomb, and that's a GG's. Well played to my opponents. Jump into the next one. All right, into the next one. Whiscash up against Napoleon lead. So good lead for my Whiscash. They're going to be actually staying in here, so they might be double weak to Whiscash in the back. Going to be going for the Mud Bomb. This will be hitting for super effective and doing quite a bit of damage at that. Puts them into the yellow. They will be able to reach a Hydro Cannon, and I recognize that they are probably weak to Whiscash, so I'm going to make an aggressive play here in just a second. After I throw this Mud Bomb, I'm going to be swapping out into my Melmetal to catch the Hydro Cannon, to waste their energy, and to keep health and keep my shields with my Whiscash. So they're going to be coming out with Copper Egregious, not really something that's weak to my Mud Boy, so I'm not too sure just yet. Going to be pumping out these Rock Slides to get this Copper Egregious very low. Melmetal is just so spammy. That, like, it's incredible. Another Rock Slide puts Copper Egregious into the red. And at this point, I'm like, I want my Whiscash healthy. I'm going to come in with Ninetales and just Fire Spin down. Going to go ahead and eat this first move. It is the Shadow Ball. Ninetales, pretty good bulk on it as well. And at this point, I can go ahead and throw up a shield. That way I have two Pokemon to threaten the final Pokemon from their side. What is it going to be in the back? Going to be, well, Empoleon comes in to throw a waterfall, and it is a Trevenant in the, excuse me, Trevenant. Trevenant's a great answer for Whiscash, so I'm very happy that I have my Ninetales still alive, and I will be able to connect with a Weather Ball. Not going to be able to make it to the Overheat, unfortunately, but you know, Weather Ball is going to do a lot of damage. Whiscash can come back in. We still have shield, and we can go for this Mud Bomb. The Mud Bomb will be taking out this Trevenant, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. I am so confused by my opponent's plays. I am so confused, but we will take the dub there. All right, into this next one, up against a Diggersby lead. So this is a lead that wasn't really around too much last season, but it's very popular this season, and this is the only spot we want to see it. Like, Whiscash is my only answer for Diggersby. Definitely don't want to see it on our Melmetal. Ninetales only wins against Diggersby if you have a 2-shielded advantage. So yes, Whiscash is our answer. So we're going to just continue baiting these Mud Bombs until we get a shield. We get a shield on that one. So at this point, I am comfortable eating an Earthquake right here. I should be able to make it to the Blizzard, and that will either threaten their final shield if they really want to go down 2 shields, or it will take them out. Let's see what happens. It does connect, takes out the Diggersby, and they have, oh my goodness, they have a Shadow Gyarados, and I make an aggressive swap here, which is super scary, because if this thing was aligned with my Ninetales, I would be in trouble, but they do allow me to get to this Rock Slide. Did y'all see how much that crunch did? Oh my goodness, Shadow Gyarados is scary. They're staying in. I make it to the next Rock Slide, but they make a really nice catch onto Muck, which pretty much explains why they were staying in so long with Gyarados, because these poison jabs are double resisted, meaning my Melmetal is going to easily make it to another Rock Slide right here, which will be putting this Muck into the red. I'm able to Thundershock down, but just as they KO me as well. So I can come in now with my Ninetales. They will have to throw energy. I still have a shield. I'm going to be able to make it to this Weather Ball. I think they knew the game was over anyways, and this Weather Ball will be enough to take out the Gyarados, even though it is resisted Shadow Gyarados. Very, very glassy. That's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Let's move into the next one. Up against a Cresselia lead. So terrible lead for my Whiscash. Going to be swapping out into Melmetal, and they will be answering with a Drapion. So I can go straight Hyper Beam, or I can go ahead and bait. I figured like Superpower is going to do a lot to your Drapion anyways. They might shield, so I'm going to go for the Rock Slide. They actually call it bait. So great call by my opponent. And I'm going to go ahead and eat like... This is such a strange matchup. I don't really know why you would bring Drapion into Melmetal because of all the Poison Stinks double resisted. It's only going to be the Crunch that you can do any kind of real damage, and Crunch isn't that good of a move. Like I go ahead and no shield there because I know I can tank another Crunch easily, and it was an Aqua Tail bait. So I'm at another Rock Slide. Do they want to go down 2 shields? Yes, they do. So very gutsy play by my opponent. They really want to keep alignment here, which means I really don't want them to keep alignment, right? So I'm going to go ahead and also commit 2 shields. I could have taken the 2 shield advantage and tried to farm down with Whiscash, but that still doesn't give me a great matchup against that Cresselia. So I decided to go ahead and go down 2 shields. They do catch this next Rock Slide on their Cresselia. I'm going to overfarm, build up to another Rock Slide. Oh, I actually threw this Rock Slide. I couldn't remember if I threw it or not. I do decide to throw this, and then I'm going to be coming in with my Ninetales because most of the time Cresselia is only going to be running Grass Knot, Moonblast, both of which are resisted by Ninetales. This one is, of course, running Future Sight. That's alright. I mean, it hurts, but we're going to be able to make it to this Weather Ball, which will be putting the Cresselia very, very low, potentially in Fire Spin down range. They do make it to another move. If this is a Future Sight, it will KO. Moonblast also would KO. Grass Knot not going to be doing the job. I'm able to make it to another Weather Ball. This will be taking out the Drapion right here. What do they have in the back? What are they protecting so hard? It's going to be... well, we don't know. They're going to wait out their switch clock, and it's going to be a Skuntank. So, I mean, Whiscash going to have a great matchup right here. I understand why they were fighting so hard for switch now. They really did not want this Skuntank to be aligned with this Whiscash, but we got the alignment how we wanted, and we are going to be able to clean up this game very, very easily. So I'm going to just commit to the farm down. I really wanted to Blizzard this low health Cresselia, but they top left, and they don't want me to have any fun. So GG's. Alright, moving into the next one. Up against a Steelix lead, which is a great lead for my Whiscash, and they are staying in. So that tells me they might be a weak to Whiscash. We will want to be aware of that later on after we deal with the Steelix. Going for this first Mud Bomb, it connects, puts them into yellow. I'm going to be throwing the next one before they are close to the Earthquake. So let's see if they want to throw up a shield now. They do not, so I can just Mud Shot down from here. I do decide to go ahead and respect the potential Earthquake. I'm not sure that they quite were at it. They do throw the Crunch instead. No debuff, so it's okay that I used the shield anyways. They're going to be coming out with a Shadow Machamp now, and Shadow Machamp beats my entire team. Whiscash cannot beat Shadow Machamp. Ninetales doesn't beat Shadow Machamp in the one shield. So not really something that I'd love to see, but hopefully I can still deal with it before it lines up with my Melmetal. So I'm going to go ahead and save my shield for Ninetales. Didn't want to have to eat a Rock Slide here in a second. They didn't build up to a Rock Slide here though, so I can safely no shield the Cross Drop. I say safely, but look at this. I'm already in the red. Going for the Weather Ball here, hoping that they eat it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to rely on Melmetal to take this Machamp out. Luckily, they do eat it, and in the back, they have a Shadow Drapion. So I'm going to be building up some energy. They will, of course, be throwing, and you never want to shield this first one. It can be the Crunch, and if it was the Crunch, they had the chance of debuffing my defense. So it was just an Aqua Tail bait anyway, so that's even better, no shield. And now I got their shield with the Rock Slide. So I'm still going to no shield this just in case. It is the Crunch this time and no defense drop, but look at this, able to make it to the beam just as they are throwing their next Aqua Tail. We can safely shield this up, and then we're going to make sure that we hit every single bubble because we want this beautiful beam to take out this Drapion. That is going to do it. That's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Let's jump into the next battle. Going to be Whiscash up against an Empoleon. So another steel type lead. There's not that many steel types in this meta. So very interesting that I'm catching a lot of them on the lead. They're going to be swapping on to Noctowl. I have a hard punish for Noctowl with my Melmetal, going to be resisting all the flying type attacks. Shadow Ball does still hit very hard, so I will have to respect it if they get to another one, but I am going to be throwing my Rock Slides now. The first one does connect, puts them into the yellow, and I'm going to be throwing the next one. Don't even want them to try to throw a Sky attack. I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to keep alignment how I have it, and then they're going to be coming back out with Empoleon. Now, the nice thing is most people run Superpower, right? So they're going to have to respect the Superpower, and I get a shield with the Rock Slide. So they do waterfall me down. They don't have to throw energy or anything like that. So when Whiscash comes back in, I do decide to respect the damage of this Hydro Cannon. I mean, Hydro Cannon from a Great League Empoleon hits pretty hard. And in the back, they have a Pidgeot. So I'm going to be building up, going straight for the Weather Ball. Somehow they outpaced me there, which I don't know. That was strange. But it was the Brave Bird, so that was a good shield on my part. I can go ahead and just undercharge this Weather Ball now and farm down this Pidgeot before they get to the next move. Hopefully, it's going to be actually a little bit closer. Yeah, no, we got the farm done. So we have a lot of energy on our Ninetales. These Weather Balls are going to be hitting Empoleon for neutral, so let's see. They actually let the first one go, and they decide to back out. That's a GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, Whiscash up against Magcargo. This is a beautiful lead for us. We would be resisting all of their moves, and doing double super effective damage with all of our ground type moves. They swap out into Trevenant. I think that Melmetal can answer for Trevenant as well, but Ninetales, of course, going to be the better answer. We correctly showed up the Weather Ball, the Shadow Ball, and Weather Ball, even though I undercharged it, it still took them out. So I make a big misplay right here though. I go for the Overheat, thinking like, hey, it's Overheat, it's going to do good damage. But Fire type moves are double resisted by Magcargo, and they could have taken the knowledge of me running Overheat and Weather Ball and just said, hey, I'm going to just straight farm down this Ninetales. Luckily they did throw a Rock Tomb. I still didn't want them to get a ton of farm, so I aggressively swap into Whiscash. They come out with the Tropius. By the way, I'm so jealous of everybody with the Tropius. Everybody's had them since like season 2. I still don't have one. Like, it's a regional. How does everyone have it? I don't know. Anyways, I'm not gonna complain about it. They showed up the Blizzard, land the Leaf Blade. I'm going for the Mud Bomb to do basically 0 damage, double resisted Mud Bomb. But I'm gonna come in with Melmetal. I'm actually really proud of how I play this one. So I'm going to just eat whatever they throw at me here. Nothing is going to hit even for neutral, but I'm going to be building up to the back-to-back Rock Slides. You're going to see why here in just a second. So building up at the back-to-backs, and I'm going to be swapping out into my Ninetales, going for the Overheat. I want to make sure that I either get the Final Shield or KO the Tropius. We do get the KO with the Overheat. The Magcargo comes in, and they can farm me down. But remember, Magcargo cannot hold 2 attacks. My Melmetal does have 2 attacks ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this first Rock Slide. This Rock Slide will be getting the shield off of them. But look at this. I'm already at the next one. I'm tapping on it as they are throwing their Overheat right now. They need another Incinerate, but I'm good to go. This Rock Slide will be connecting, and it takes out the Magcargo. And that's the GG's. Well played to my opponent. I was so happy when I won that one. Alright, moving into the next one. Going to be up against a Pidgeot lead. Tough lead. Going to be swapping into Melmetal. They decide to throw an extra Gust right there, and that means I can throw this Rock Slide in the middle of it so they cannot catch. Does a lot of super effective damage, and they come in with Registeel. So unfortunately, don't have superpower. This is the one matchup where you really do want superpower. It's still a losing matchup if you have superpower, so like, it helps, it makes it better, doesn't really flip anything, so not a huge deal. They're going to land the Focus Blast right there. I'm going to be coming in with my Whiscash and throwing the Mud Bomb as soon as I get it. No reason not to. This will be doing some nice chip damage. It does hit for super effective, but Registeel is pretty bulky. So now I'm going to be eating whatever they throw here, and I'd already decided at this point, if it's the Focus Blast, I bank a Mud Bomb, and then I swap and farm down with my Ninetales. Reason being, I know I still have to deal with this Pidgeot, so I need to be ahead on energy for whatever was in the back or for this Pidgeot. And I'm going to go ahead and show this. If it's the Feather Dance, I can still farm down, but it is the Brave Bird. So Pidgeot is out of here. What do they have in the back? Well, will we see it? There it is. It is another Mag Cargo. Now, I learned my lesson last time. I'm not showing Overheat. I want them to think I have Solar Beam and I want them to be afraid of it. So I'm going to go ahead and overfarm. I don't care if I waste all this energy. All this energy was double resisted anyways. So I'm going to eat this Stone Edge, come back in with my Whiscash and go ahead and throw a Mud Bomb right here. This should be getting a shield. It will one-shot the Mag Cargo from this range. And now I'm going to overfarm a little bit more, go for another Mud Bomb. Now, remember, Registeel is still alive, maybe not in farm down range. They might be able to get to a Flash Cannon if I tried to farm them down. So I gotta be aware of that when I KO this Mag Cargo. So I'm going to overfarm, throw again in the middle of the Incinerate. That way they cannot catch. And then a couple more Mud Shots, 1, 2, actually 3 more Mud Shots. And we are at the Mud Bomb. That's going to be taking out the Registeel. That's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent, and that is game 10 of my 10 game win streak. So thank y'all all for watching today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know what you've been running in the comments down below. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.